Why do I tell you all of this? I'm not doing this to manipulate you. I want us to acknowledge the feelings that we all have, and I want us to be able to lament these things. I want us to be able to take them to God, the rage, the anger, the fear, all of that stuff today as it's being stirred up. I want us to be able to take that to God. I also tell my story so that you can be encouraged to search your own hearts, to see what is there, the anger and the hate, the vitriol that we reserve for those people, whoever those are, your enemies, or maybe your friends or family's enemies, or your country's enemies, that hate and violence that we reserve just for that special group of people. Many of us who remember 9/11, 2001 may still have some hate or anti-Islamic bias or language in our vocabularies, maybe even in our hearts. And others that didn't experience it firsthand, you've at least heard the updates. You've seen the footage of the death and the carnage that's happened over the last 20 years. And maybe even the rhetoric that the news media, left or right, is using is influencing how you think about those human beings, the image of God there in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I'm not doing that to focus on them and put any light away from the Americans who died. The whole thing is a tragedy. It's an ongoing tragedy, and that's what we can lament before the Lord. In America, we have no doubt who our enemies are. And we've been told it's okay and maybe even good to hate those enemies. You've heard it said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. That's the American message. Yet Jesus has a very different message for us today. This is a very American anti-American message this morning, I think, because it is a very Christian one, very Christ-focused. And it goes completely against the narratives that we're told. Loving our enemies is not something we value in the old US of A. Praying for persecutors is certainly not something that we're taught to do.